All right, so hey guys, so I have Sanjeev here, Sanjeev, and then Jordan. We're here at the AI Infra Conference, the Summit, taking a look at what's going on. You guys are with Infracore. Jordan, tell me a little bit about what Infracore is. What do you guys got going on?
Yeah, so Infracore's main focus is build, design, and fund and pre-lease data centers. So all things data center, designing, building the infrastructure for high density deployments, AI high density deployments. The demand in the market we all know is very large. We know where the market's headed, but there's a lot of data center companies that struggle with doing the same type of build and design as what's been. So we are focused on not only partnering with asset owners, landowners, existing facility owners on the financial side, but also on the build design side. So we're open to, and Sanjeev will talk more about this in a little bit, right. We're open to joint ventures, joint development strategies with asset owners to create high value conversations around new age data centers for high density and where the market's headed.
Yeah, so high density data centers, we're talking power, we're talking how that gets to upstream, downstream, where that goes. How does the go-to-market look there? Like how fast can you get these spun up?
That's a good question. So I think that's one of the biggest hurdles in the market, right? The power equipment, the switchgear, everything that goes into building power deliverables to a powered shell. That can be a very long waiting period. So right now on average, it's 12 to 18 months that a lot of people are waiting on their power equipment. And then obviously conversations with the utility makes that a lot longer. So our goal is expediting that process. So we have exclusive rights to partnerships across the globe that they've cut that time down in half. And then we have very unique offerings around generators and power equipment that is off-grid power supply for microgrids. And so when we're looking at what we're offering, time to market is the biggest value in that. It's not only the efficiency of the generators and the power switchgear, but it's the amount of time we can get that to the customer.
Yeah, so the modularity, like where that's going, how to get it in, how to get it out, scale it up, right? So maybe we go to Sanjeev, like what kind of technologies, like what kind of power are you bringing in? What does that look like on that side?
Yeah, so we have several solutions for power, and they're all, let me just touch up on the financial piece a second, because everything we do has to do with how do we get the multiples right, so that the time to revenue is as compressed as possible, and we want to have a build track record there. But as to your question about the types of power, we work with some specialized folks who have done gas turbines that runs off of natural gas. We also have new technology that takes into account the methane, which is CH4, then breaks it up into carbon nanoparticles that can be used for graphene, as well as hydrogen, which can be put into a fuel cell. And as you know, hydrogen, if you use it, you basically get water out of it. That water is actually usable in applications as well, to be used to cool the entire infrastructure too. So we have ways to lower the cost of cooling equipment, not be carbon neutral or carbon negative, as well as generate carbon credits as well. So all these paths, we have a slew of them. We also have 3 nuclear solutions, SMRs, small modular reactors, to deploy all over the market. And we're not only solving our supply chain, we're solving our vendors' supply chain as well, because it doesn't matter who is stuck where. Some of these require critical minerals that the United States has little of. They have to import it from other places. We're talking at the top levels of government to make sure that this can open up.
So top level of government, very modular systems. You can kind of handle the power at any level. Is kind of what I hear. Back to the modularity and then the speed of now, which is 100% where AI is going. Like how fast can we move? We're not moving fast enough. That's the market share side. So, on the government side, we're hearing a lot about, Project Stargate was it was announced about it, but you mentioned government, and then you're talking, United States. So with sovereign AI or AI sovereignty, as these first world countries and global countries come together and say, we're going to do AI, we're going to do it in-house, it's going to have our culture, our understanding, our best interest or whatnot. If we're focusing on the United States, what does that look like for you guys?
Yes, so I'll jump in real quick. Yeah, I think a lot of the land that we're working with, our qualifications is what's available, what natural resources are available, right? For microgrids, power delivery. We're uniquely positioned in the United States, which I think a lot of us know, and we should be proud of it, for what we can do in the data center realm. And so if we're not tapping into that, I think we have some creative ways that we do that at Infracore. We have really unique relationships with drilling companies using flare gas and waste gas to generate tons of power. And so when I say tons of power, I'm from Texas, I live in Dallas, and there is a lot of flare gas. And so we're working with organizations to monetize that so that we can transmit that power to ourselves or the utility. That's one way of doing it in the United States, which I believe we need to tap into that. And so we're processing and doing due diligence on every lot of land that we're looking at in that way.
Yeah, I mean, that's smart, right? So Infracore, what I'm hearing is Infracore is not only building power, not only building modular, scalable power, it's building power with the whole end-to-end in sight. It's saying, do you need it? We got it. What comes out of that? What is the waste product of that? How do we drive that? Going back to, I mean, I know we just mentioned it, but like carbon nanotubes and graphene and those kind of things, that is a byproduct, but you're able to use that scientifically for all kinds of things. You want to talk about kind of like that looks like?
Yeah, so a little bit focused on the carbon nanoparticles that come out. It's a simple commodity that if you want to sell on the commodity market, it fetches like over $50 per kilogram. It's a high-end commodity. So we have an off-taker for that. But in addition, so what they might do or what we might do in turn is to create single-layer filters for water. So you use it for water desalination. You could use it for separating gases. For example, one of the common use cases as natural gas comes out, it's called sour gas, which means there are certain impurities in it. And so to separate out from the CH4 with other butane and propane and other things that come out of it, versus things that we don't want, like NOx, things that
Noxious
produce NOx.
fumes, right?
Yeah, so we don't want that. So you can use a system that's based on graphene to separate out these elements there. And I'd be remiss to say that we also have other solutions where we can take the water that's being produced in wastewater, in fact.
Filter that,
Yeah, and then use that to produce water to cool, but then also after that cooling, if there's excess, which we expect that to be, to supply to the local water system, like irrigation and such.
Yeah, I mean, that's the future, right? Like fresh water, where's it going? The sewage in general, like that whole side has never been disrupted. It's never been changed really over time. We've added some farming capabilities with fish and stuff like that. It's really interesting to hear that, again, like Infracore, a power company that's generating power all over the United States, building these things up is really driving not only the beginning but the end, and really like making money off of waste that comes out of it, right? So then, so one question would be, is that what green technology looks like now? Like, are you kind of, I've talked to many different companies and nobody's looking at the end to end. And when they do, they look at a certain style of end to end, but not the full end style. So are you kind of redefining what green technology is?
Right, so I want to use the word green carefully here because there's different meanings of that. What we'll say is that the most practical solution out there is what we care about, because we don't want to go, we don't expect tax subsidies, we don't want that. That's not great for the taxpayer at all. So we want to be, we want to stand on our own 2 feet and be able to make a profitable business by using the methods like I described. So that's our goal, and this goes for nuclear, this goes for even, so data centers, as you may know, have like a negative connotation in the social space.
Yeah,
like,
the heat and the fans and
all they do is come and take up our resources. They don't give anything back to the system, so to the society or the local government there or local places. So there could be solutions where we produce something of value to the local community, the state, as well as the national government as well.
Well, I mean, there's even the fact of like smart cities. I think we talked a little bit about that, earlier. But like in general, the HVAC systems. How do you leverage the heat from these systems? How do you then clean the water of those same systems? You need everything on site. You don't need things that are way off site driving that, causing more inflection, causing more inflammation
Yeah.
into the system, you're leveraging that as well.
Yeah, we want to be as self-sustained as possible.
That's fantastic.
And I think we may have talked about superconductors as well, and that allows for better, lower cost of cooling, lower cost of transformers, like all of that gets reduced. So I think there's lots of opportunities for data centers to kind of rebrand themselves as being sustainable in the truest sense.
Yeah, I mean that's for thermodynamics at a whole. Like you're solving for the fact that it's understood. You're going to create this. You're going to drive it forward. So yeah, so time to market is faster. You're leveraging, United States assets, building that out. You're doing it, not looking for I mentioned green, but not looking for like those subsidies, but just like that's how people understand it. They go, how are we being carbon neutral? How are we doing this? I mean, maybe a lot of other things that people look at in the business side is they think that coal power is dirty and bad. And Jordan, I think you've explained it's not anymore. Like, how does that work?
Yeah, there's technology now where you're burning the waste back on the coal through the process. And so what used to be waste now is increasing the burn rate of that coal. So it's actually very efficient, and we're getting more power out of it. So the good thing about where we are in the market is people are getting really innovative, and it's affecting the way the industry is going to be today, but also 10 years down the road. And what we have in our portfolio of offerings to our customers, not only that are in our facilities, but also who we're building for, is those questions, right? Well, a lot of the land we have may have access to coal. And people are...
It's like right there.
Yeah, in the beginning, they're like, whoa, hold on.
Yeah.
But once we explain the technology and what we have, no matter what state you're talking about, no matter what location you're talking about, both sides can get on board with what we have to offer, which we're excited about. And we've seen both sides, their eyebrows raised when we actually explain the nuts and bolts of the efficiencies here.
The theory and practice, and say, hey, like you win, why don't we go do this together? And it's good for everybody all around, and it's good for the country, it's good for everything else, and so that's fantastic.
Texas meets California.
Kind of, right? I mean, in general, Texas has that mindset of like, let's bring it together. Your neighbor
meets California.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I'm originally from Texas too, so hey, it works out.
There we go.
You're both now.
Yeah. So, so anything else that you want to share? Coming here and seeing all the different infrastructure coming together, I think that's super smart here. But Infracore, how are you leveraging that aspect of like maybe like this event or anything else you want to share about what Infracore does, or like a use case or something that's just like, man, we see this all the time. What does this look like?
Yeah, we work with multiple kinds of stakeholders in Infracore. We have landowners, we have mineral rights owners, we have people who have capital who want to deploy to the data center space without really help us out, right?
Yeah.
And then we have obviously the big players in this room. So we have different kinds of relationships with each of them. Each of them are value additive, and we carefully track that. Yeah. So for example, we have at least 20 projects. We can't name names just yet, but they're all about 1 gigawatt or more in the United States, and we have various sources of funding for that. So just want to spread the word out to see if people are interested in partnering with us. And do you want to add anything?
No, I think you hit it. A lot of people want to get into the industry.
Right.
They see the hype. We're, as Sanjeev's saying, we show a lot of flexibility in how to partner with companies. We have a opportunity we're working on right now where somebody's just contributing the asset as a land. And that's our JV, that's our joint development. And that's all they're investing. So if there is landowners out there that want to get in the industry, we have the funding, we have the know-how, we have the construction, we have the unique power deliverables, and we can go to market together.
And the phased revenue as well. We use Bitcoin mining to get revenue in the first 6 months, and then in parallel we'll also build out the infrastructure and the data center itself so our goal is to get the entire thing to market, the full data center or the first phase of it in like 12 to 15 months. Fingers crossed there. But the Bitcoin mining piece is a truly tested ecosystem, so we know how to do that.
It is. So cool. So how do people, you're looking for partners, looking to drive this through, working with landowners. How do people get a hold of Infracore?
So they're infracore.ai. They can go there. There's an opportunity sheet they can fill out to get a meeting with us. And then we obviously have all our emails. So I'm Jordan at Infracore.ai, Sanjeev at Infracore.ai, and we're readily available to have these conversations with people.
Cool. Well, fantastic. Thanks for meeting me today, and fantastic learning about Infracore. So
Yeah, thank
Sanjeev,
you.
Jordan, appreciate it.
Thanks, Doug.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, appreciate it.